Good morning and welcome to Money Morning. My name's Eric Stewart. Today we're going to be talking with the man with the plan, Mr. Casey Charles. He's going to be talking about the mission impossible of saving for retirement, separating equity, and most importantly, your kids' college savings. How do you go about doing it? We're going to find out right after the break. Stay with us. This message will self-destruct in 5, 4, 3. Good morning, everyone. My name is Eric Stewart.
And I'm Paul Robinson.
Welcome to Money Morning. Today we're going to be talking to Casey Charles. He is a financial planner with Infinite Equity Strategies. He's going to be talking to us about a unique form of business called mortgage planning and how it affects you economically as far as planning for your future. Now, a lot of folks know about mortgages and refinancing, and they also know about financial planning and don't really tie the two together. So Casey is going to help to bridge that gap today and explain to us how our mortgages affect our retirement planning, our children's education, and most importantly, how it affects the way that we invest. Casey, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Eric.
You're more than welcome. So now, I don't know where we start here, but I guess the best thing to do is talk about the mortgage piece of a person's personal portfolio. Obviously, it plays a big part. A lot of folks look at it as a necessary evil. I've got to have a mortgage, and the sooner I get rid of it, the better. If I could pay it off in 5 years and just have no mortgage, I'd be the better person for it. Is this correct thinking?
Not in all cases.
Okay.
There's a very small segment of the population that's true for. Mm-hmm. Most of us, and we don't really look at it because our money's taken in advance, most of us, our largest bill is not our mortgage.
Well, you know what? Because we're going to share so much information, so much that will be considered groundbreaking for some folks. The light bulb will come on and they'll feel like an epiphany has come over them and they'll have a new beginning. Let's address the folks that the strategy makes sense for. Who should be getting rid of their mortgage and never having a mortgage payment again?
Well, the segment of the population that should be getting rid of their mortgage is folks that don't believe that they're ever going to need to make any serious purchases in the near future. They don't have anybody to leave their assets to. So, I mean, you're talking about 1-2% of our population that really would be helpful in getting rid of their mortgage.
Does it make sense for people that are not going to have income or who have very, very limited income to strive to get rid of their mortgage? I mean, if you're going to be in retirement and the only thing you have to fall back on is a Social Security check every month for $1,000, doesn't it make sense that if you could get rid of your mortgage to do so?
I'd have to say generally yes, but what I've noticed having serviced our area is that those people still have a hard time making ends meet, even with their mortgage being gone. So this so-called necessary evil that we talk about, it really isn't the biggest evil. We still have a lot of other bills and a lot of other moving parts in our finances that you have to address. So our challenge is to make sure you don't get to where you're only relying on Social Security. But the short answer is yes, that those folks, may want to get rid of their mortgage very early on.
Because a lot of times, investments will not pay a high enough dividend to make it worth having a mortgage payment of $700 or $800 because they're not going to make $700 or $800 in their investment income. So
Sure. And what you're talking about, again, is a very small segment of the population. Most of us, if you work 25, 30 years, we at least have a pension outside of our Social Security or a 401k or IRA or different qualified plans, outside of our IRA. There's just a very small segment of the population.
So let's get down to who should possibly not aggressively go after the mortgage, because I think now with the media and the press telling so many stories of people losing their homes and foreclosures being on the rise, people are afraid of mortgages. They're afraid to take cash out of their equity. They're afraid of having a big, long mortgage.
Well, sure they are. And the problem is that the bad behavior of certain industry professionals, and that's why, becoming a certified mortgage planner as opposed to just being a run-of-the-mill loan officer and really studying the habits and the advantages that you can give your clients as opposed to just working from one commission to the next. Those are the type of folks, the consumer should align themselves with. So to answer your question, who can it, anybody who makes, you work as an employee, you have children, paint a picture for you. As your children grow older, your deductions grow lesser. Business owners know when come time for you to retire and sell your business. Businesses are a huge advantage as far as being able to shelter incomes and things like that. But once you sell, you've exposed yourself. So the older you get in age, you need to really figure out your income strategy in retirement. Not necessarily everything you're gonna make, but how are you gonna spend it so that your dollar equals a dollar.
So now that we're seeing the first wave of baby boomers beginning to reach the 65-year-old plateau and beginning to retire, we were talking the other day about the fact that the largest growing percentage of the population are folks who are eclipsing the 100-year-old and older mark. So you have the 65 and older who are beginning to retire, who could possibly still live another 35, 40 years. And oftentimes if they're falling back on Social Security, if they're falling back on a 401k or a pension, and a lot of companies have done away with their pension funds recently, and employees don't have that to look forward to, what can folks who are now getting or facing retirement in the next 5, 10, 15 years, how can they try to accommodate themselves during those later years in life?
Well, here's the simple answer is they've let someone else control their financial situation for many moons. And now, as you said, the pensions are going away, and they realize that they're not in control. So they have to take the control back. They have to use their own professionals and get control of their assets and really start being more active, proactive, and aggressive with their own retirement funds.
And unfortunately, a lot of folks don't realize it until later as opposed to sooner. So when we come back from the break, we're going to talk more with Casey Charles. He's from Infinite Equity Strategies, all about financial planning as it relates to mortgages in your home. My name's Eric Stewart.
And I'm Paul Robinson.
We'll be right back here with Money Morning.
Seniors, do you know the jealously guarded secrets banks and brokers hide from you that could cost you thousands? Many seniors risk their retirement security, increasing the chance that they could outlive their money. This is true whether they handle their retirement savings themselves or with help from a professional. Are you needlessly losing thousands of dollars? Find out now by getting this eye-opening free report that reveals retirement savings secrets that you need to know. Call toll-free 1-800-690-4125, 24 hours a day for a free recorded message. And get this report. Call 1-800-690-4125.